Alright, everyone. One last reaction, and then I'm resting the rest of the day. One last reaction. Ogata, good to see you. Yes, you made it just in time. So let's begin with the latest chapter of JUJUTSU Kaisen. Yo, peoples. Kyushu92 here, and like I said in my previous reactions, my apologies if my voice sounds a little bit under the weather. My apologies if I cough a little bit. Just been going through this very annoying cold for the past couple of days, and I'm still working of coming out of it, so that way I can give you guys my best vocal dulcet tones. So, let's see what the newest chapter offers us for Jujutsu, because last we left off, it looked like Yuji was about to use the Executioner's Sword to stab into Sukuna. So let's see what happens. Chapter 248, Inhuman Makyo Shinjuku Showdown Part 20. And it shows Yuji as trying to stab into Sukuna, but it looks like Sukuna moved out of the way. It looks like he moved out of the way before Yuji could stab him. Like a couple of us pretty much thought that he would. Like it wouldn't be that easy to stab Sukuna. But Yuji appears to try and stab where Sukuna is, but Sukuna winds up being behind Yuji, with his back turned still, and Yuji is looking down at his hands, and the Executioner's like cross that was in his hands, it looks like it's all crumpled up with him going, Higuruma! And then Sukuna starts beating up on Yuji. And as he gets knocked away by Sukuna, these white lines appear over Yuji, and Yuji puts his hands up to brace him as Sukuna tries to use, I think it's cleave? Or dismantle. He tries to, I'm just going to say he slashes Yuji. And Sukuna's looking at his hand going, he died, but I lost Supreme Martial Solution, the Kamutoke. So Sukuna just basically lost the Kamutoke for himself. And the boy's stomach is fully healed. And as Yuji is knocked off to the side, someone is standing a distance away from Sukuna. Mind you, he still has a smile on his face. This whole time, Sukuna's just been smiling the whole time. Yo! And the person who's standing a good distance from Sukuna is Uyui. Hikari? No. What is this person's name? I forget their name. The one that is on Kirara. There it is, Kirara. So we got Uyui and Kirara there, and they've rescued Higuruma. And they're just gone. They're just gone. So Uyui just got them both out of there quickly. I'm not surprised. I bet that brat's curse technique is teleportation. They're probably the reason Satoru Gojo's body vanished. Wow, so Uyui's the reason why they took the body of Gojo. So they took the body of Gojo. That explains why we didn't see it. Uyui came in and got his body. Interesting. Are they transporting wounded sorcerers to the woman with reverse curse technique? No. Healing another person with reverse curse technique is less than half as effective than healing oneself. And compared to me and Gojo, her reverse curse technique isn't that strong. Which means that in the past month, the boy has acquired reverse curse technique himself. As it shows Yuji, and he gets up, and he's completely healed. Wow, so Yuji has learned reverse curse technique? What? Yuji learned reverse curse technique. He's improved in more than using cursed energy to physically strengthen himself, which means the main dish is the possessed brat. This should be fun. So, why am I irritated? And Sukuna's just standing there, just with his arms crossed. One arm is up here just crossed and another is at his side. And Yuji's looking at him. Huh? Is Sukuna lost in thought? Am I feeling down because that sorcerer died? I've never needed anyone to satisfy me. That's true. I eat when I want to eat, play with what amuses me, and kill whoever's in my way. That's me, and I haven't changed. Sukuna's he's talking to himself. He's having like a inner conversation with himself. Which makes devouring them a perfect way to pass time until death. Passing time until death. To me, that's all other people are good for. And he's thinking back to the words that he said to Jogo. But you lack the hunger to take hold of your desires. And I live as benefits my nature. If no one can grasp that, then that's their problem. And then it shows Sukuna, once more, in the present. I never held any ideals. I never strove for more than benefited my nature. But they pursue the ideal of killing me. Why does it irritate me to see others dedicated to an ideal? They remind me of someone I knew 1,000 years ago. Have I changed during that time? The boy. That's right, you. 1,000 years ago, the people I fought were strangers. To me, their reasons and ideals are all dying words added later. Words whose truth I can't ascertain. They may have been bluffing or had an overly high opinion of themselves. But this is different. Two souls were inhabiting the same flesh. I come back, no matter how many times he or his spirit breaks. I know his ideal is to be unbreakable. And it just shows Yuji preparing to face off against Sukuna. Unfortunately, I have learned that someone far weaker can go toe-to-toe with me and achieve his ideal through strength of will. And that really irritates me. In other words, I was so great in stature that I held no ideals, even despised them. And then Sukuna starts laughing. I wish I could laugh. I wish I could laugh for him. You've given me a clear reason to destroy you here and now by crushing all your hopes. And as he's saying this, as Sukuna is saying this, this cross appears the same type we saw from the Executioner's sword. This just starts to appear above Sukuna, and the light starts to envelop the whole area. I don't know what he's doing. And then we have Kusakabe watching on. What's he doing? And then we have one of the Shikigami, one of the little, I forget the exact name, one of the little things from the culling game coming in saying, a player has added a new rule to the culling game. Rule 15. Megami Fushiguro has the authority to activate the merger of humankind by Tengen. What? Fushiguro. In other words, Sukuna. Could it be that he's Kenjaku's backup plan? And this little orb that that is in front of Sukuna, it floats in front of him, and then he just eats it, whatever it is. Okotsu's surprise attack appears to have succeeded, triggering this failsafe. Oh wait, I think this is still Kusakabe. Okotsu's surprise attack appears to have succeeded, triggering this failsafe. Sukuna isn't the type to annihilate humankind at any cost. I thought he was better than Kenjaku because he wouldn't commit perverse acts of jujutsu terrorism out of mere curiosity. I thought that if we lost to Sukuna but defeated Kenjaku, we'd live in a country with a wild beast, which would be bad enough, but this... And then we have, Ino. Kusakabe? First, I'm going to kill all of you. Then I'm going to kill all the culling game players. I'll have Tengen and the masses merge. After that, depending on how things turn out, I'll have some fun with Tengen. Wow, so this is even worse. Because even though Sukuna is Kenjaku's failsafe, his will lives on in Sukuna. So, this is so much worse. This is so much worse. We all thought if we got rid of Kenjaku, maybe it wouldn't be as bad because at least we don't have to worry about the Tengen merger with the masses of people who died during the culling game. But now we have Sukuna who's going to continue it. And he's going to do that by pretty much killing everyone there now. then killing everyone in the culling game, then merging Tengen with the masses. And then after that, fight whatever Tengen becomes after the masses converge. This is still bad. This is still bad. Woo! Woo! Yo! And who comes up and just demolishes the entire area where Sukuna is? It's Yuta Okotsu! Your boy just came in out of nowhere. Okotsu! Sorry I'm late. And Sukuna just starts... Sukuna just starts throwing hands with Okotsu. And they just start clashing. Whew. Struggle all you like, but unless you kill me, everyone you care for will die. Yo! And then Rika shows up and proceeds to try and crush Sukuna with her hand. Who are you talking to? The queen is here. Wow! The king of curses versus the queen of curses. Wow! And that's the end. That's the end of the chapter. That's the end. Kogane, thank you, Camelot. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, let me see what you guys have said. Halster, good to see you. Camelot, good to see you. Meaning Okotsu didn't slice his head to pieces. Someone had to have added the rule. Sukuna himself, maybe? Or maybe it was a contingency rule. I don't know. You sound like Jack? Which Jack? There's a lot of Jacks. There's a lot of Jacks. Which Jack do you mean specifically? Wow. So, can we just talk about how we have like a whole moment where Sukuna is just having this inner monologue with himself? Normally, we don't see too much of Sukuna having like an inner monologue, let alone seeing how he's thinking. But your boy's getting irritated. For a person who's never had any ideals of his own and never held any, he's getting irritated by anyone else who has it and sticks with it. He's bothered by that thought. Hold on. Let me... No, this is not where I wanted to go. Hold on. I'm looking something up real quick. All right. Do they have anything for the next chapter? Yeah. Okay. So basically, Yuji fails to hit Sukuna with the Executioner's sword, and all hope seems lost when it disintegrates as Higuruma's life ends. So we lost Higuruma. Irritated by Yuji's indomitable spirit, Sukuna accepts Kenjaku's failsafe, being granted the authority to activate the merger. The Great Merger. Yuta returns to the battlefield in the nick of time to finally confront Sukuna himself. The Ripper from Metal Gear? Oh, you mean Raiden? Oh, had you said Raiden, I would have known exactly what you meant. Okay, so going through this, I mean, how many of us thought it was going to be too easy if Yuji was just right? And the thing is, when we where we left off in the last chapter, Yuji was right on the back of Sukuna and looking like he was about to stab him. But then this chapter shows Sukuna moving fast where he's right behind Yuji before Yuji can even stab him. I mean, that actually doesn't surprise me. I kind of figured that was going to happen because we've seen how fast Sukuna was previously. When he started fighting everybody, he was able to move without any sort of hint of movement from himself. You just blink and he's gone. No sound, no additional movements, no lines of where he was. He just happens to be in the next area where he wants to be, just instantaneously. So not surprised by him dodging Yuji. And of course, he starts trying to beat up on Yuji, and yet Yuji still stands defiantly in front of him, which is something that Sukuna does not understand. He doesn't. He's over the 1,000 years before he was, defeated and his fingers were separated. He's known countless amounts of people that tried to fight him. But when is it? But apparently he's gotten to a point where he doesn't fully understand why they're fighting so hard. Why they're standing with the ideal. He doesn't understand the concepts of ideals. He just does what he wants. And then that's just how he's always lived his life. Like it says in this chapter, he's always lived his life the way he wanted to. Eat whatever you want, kill whoever got in my way, and that's how I've always been. But he doesn't understand how other people hold ideals. And he knows that all of them have this ideal of beating him. Yet he doesn't understand why they're fighting so hard. That's a thought in his mind that's not fully registering. You see, if Yorozu actually managed to get to Sukuna in terms of feelings and emotions or whatever, then maybe he'd understand. But since he's a person that doesn't hold any ideals and he just does things because that's how he feels, but not really an ideal he stands on, the concept of anyone, Zaxby's, yeah, the family got me some food, so I'm just drinking this. I'm also drinking it a little bit when I feel like I'm about to cough, so I don't cough in your guys' ear. So apologies for that. I still need to get some actual tea. You don't have one in Houston? Zaxby's is all right. I mean, it's one of those foods that I can eat, and then it'll keep me going for, like, the rest of the day. But I don't eat it all the time. But with the way that Sukuna is... Matter of fact, let me go through here. Okay, so we also know that Yuji has recently learned how to use reverse curse technique on himself. And we also learn that Ui is pretty much the person that took Gojo's body away. Because this is the first time that Sukuna mentions it. I'm not surprised. I bet that brat's curse technique is teleportation. They're probably the reason Satoru Gojo's body vanished. So it's because of Ui that they managed to get Gojo's remains. And then he's thinking of Shoko. Are they transporting wounded sorceress to the woman with reverse curse technique? No, healing another person with reverse curse technique is less than half as effective than healing oneself. And compared to me and Gojo, her reverse curse technique isn't that strong, which means that in the past month, the boy has acquired reverse curse technique himself. So in the past month, Yuji has learned how to use reverse curse technique for himself. He's improved in more than using cursed energy to physically strengthen himself, which means the main dish is the possessed brat. But then Sukuna just goes into like this thought process. I wonder if he took the other bodies away too? We'll have to see. Because, as Sukuna says, Shoko's reverse... My apologies. Shoko's reverse curse technique is not as strong as Sukuna's or Gojo's. So I'm not going to say like, oh, they brought Gojo's body back, so they're just going to revive him with reverse curse technique that isn't as strong as Sukuna or Gojo's. So I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening at all. But another thing to take note of here is how Sukuna just gets lost in thought. He just gets lost in thought, thinking about his own previous words that he said to people, and he's just rethinking over his own words. I've never needed anyone to satisfy me. That's true. I eat when I want to eat, play with what amuses me, and kill whoever's in my way. That's me, and I haven't changed, which makes devouring them a perfect way to pass time until death. Passing time until death. To me, that's all other people are good for. I never held any ideals. I never strove for more than befitted my nature. But they pursue the ideal of killing me. Why does it irritate me to see others dedicated to an ideal? They remind me of someone I knew 1,000 years ago. Have I changed during that time? The boy, that's right, you. 1,000 years ago, the people I fought were strangers. And then he just goes on this big mental tirade. To me, the reasons and ideals are all dying words added later, words whose truth I can't ascertain. They may have been bluffing or had an overly high opinion of themselves. But this is different. Two souls were inhabiting the same flesh. I come back, no matter how many times he or his spirit breaks. I know his ideal is to be unbreakable. And Yuji really has showcased that whole mentality. TCB translation, Sukuna says, Shoko's reverse curse technique has always been fundamentally different from his and Gojo's, but she doesn't have the power that they have. Yeah, that's pretty much how it reads out here on this page. No, I said Higuruma reminded me of Nanami, but I didn't mean him dying. What a poor choice of words, right? His inner monologue reminds you of your conversation with Kashimo during their fight. Eat what I wanted. Good Lord, that hurt. Eat what I want to eat. We don't want him doing that at all. No, we don't want him eating people. We do not need him eating people. But it just shows that Yuji has become... I honestly feel Yuji's mental fortitude started to increase. I want to say after Sukuna took over his body, massacred a giant portion of Shibuya in an attempt to get rid of Maharaga. And though it was incredibly traumatic for him, I believe ever since then, Yuji's mental fortitude has increased to the point where this man does not know the meaning of the word give up. To the point where his whole ideal is to be unbreakable. You cannot fully, especially now, that's especially with him learning reverse curse technique, Yuji, which is something not a lot of people can do. In the past month, he's learned how to do reverse curse technique for himself. So now that just pushes his ideal of being unbreakable to an even higher standard. So not only is his will very much unbreakable, but now he has a technique that can allow him to keep going despite the injuries that happened to him. He knows how to use reverse curse technique now. That ideal of being unbreakable is a more assured thing. But as that's going, we find out that Sukuna is the failsafe of Kenjaku, and Sukuna has the authority to enact the merger. So, with that being said, Sukuna then says, I'm going to kill all of you. Then I'm going to kill all the Culling Game players. Then I am going to merge Tengen with the masses. And depending on how things turn out, I'll have some fun with Tengen. He's literally just going to kill everybody. Kill everybody. And then fight Tengen and mess around with it. That was Kenjaku's failsafe. Don't worry, he won't eat people. He'll have Urume prepare it first before he eats it. My friend and I joked and said he adapts to trauma. I wouldn't even call that a joke. That's actually kind of accurate. And we just saw his fight with Mahito in the anime. That's some inspiring determination. Yeah, ever since then, he's had this result. Ever since the whole Shibuya incident, Yuji's resolve has increased. Even though it looks dire, as soon as he's on the field and he's ready to fight, this man just goes in there without fear, pretty much. What is Sukuna's main motive in general? That we don't know. That's the thing. See, the thing is, we don't know Kenjaku. We didn't know Kenjaku's full-on goal. Like, he said that he wanted to merge Tengen with the masses and create something. And then just see what happens. But we all know that there's a deeper meaning to this plan. The same can be said of Sukuna. He's a person who does whatever he wants. Motives unclear. He just does things on a whim and what befits his nature, as this chapter reminds us. So, I can't say that Sukuna has like a grand goal. Like, he just says that he gives us what he's going to do, or at least going to attempt to do. But we don't know his end game. Like, one could say that him allowing the merger to happen after he's killed everyone, and then playing with whatever comes from Tengen and the masses combining in the merger, that could be seen as like his big end goal, but we don't know if that's truly the end for Sukuna and what he intends to do. So we don't know his main motive. He's just doing things that befits his nature, and that's pretty much how it is. I'm not sure if he is. Couldn't he always switch bodies? I need to see the brain thing dead with my eyes to believe it. Yes, he could switch brains with people, but we don't know how that works. I'm still curious who added that rule because it wasn't Sukuna, and if Kenjaku is dead, who did it? I doubt it's Urume. Who's to say that the rule was added as a contingency on the event of Kenjaku's death? Think about it. The rule gets... Sure, you could have enough points to make a rule, but you could also... One could even say that you can make a rule that doesn't activate until certain parameters are met. Like, you can say, add this rule, but don't announce it until these events happen. Kind of like a binding vow, in a way. Like how Sukuna says, hey, I'm putting this binding vow on you. Anytime I say enchain, I gain control of your body for 1 minute. And the second condition of this binding vow is that you forget everything. And we didn't realize it until pretty much a lot later in the story. So who's to say that Kenjaku made another rule, but added some contingencies to it so that it doesn't get announced until the point of his death and Sukuna is the only one left standing, and thus giving him control of starting the merger. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that this is the definitive way that it was done. It just seems the more likely option to a degree. At least it sounds good to me. That's how it sounds to me. I don't know if that's the official way that it happened, but I'm just saying. So we got that issue, but then we get your boy Yuta, who just shows up, demolishes the entire area, and he prepares to clash against Sukuna. And Sukuna is just baiting him, saying, struggle all you like, but unless you kill me, everyone you care for will die. And then Rika comes in and proceeds to try and crush Sukuna into the ground. And Sukuna is, holding back her hand. So now we have the biggest cursed spirit, pretty much, I want to say the strongest cursed spirit about to go up against the King of Curses. So that's going to be an interesting matchup. Rika, the Queen of Curses, dubbed the Queen of Curses, versus Sukuna, the King of Curses. I don't know what to tell you. Like, if I go down here, if I go down to his capabilities, go down to his cursed energy and everything that is involved with him. Yuta's immense cursed energy comes from his genetic relation to Michizane Sugawara. It only first manifested when he transformed a loved one into a cursed spirit. Rika became a vengeful spirit so powerful that Geto, an avid collector of curses, dubbed her the Queen of Curses. Rika's boundless cursed energy could be shaped into any technique, allowing Yuta to use advanced curse techniques within a year of learning the fundamentals of Jujutsu. Yuta retains the massive amounts of cursed energy that were unrivaled from Rika's curse, even after her spirit passed on. His cursed energy capacity exceeds even that of Satoru Gojo. Yuji and Choso could immediately feel that Yuta's volume of cursed energy was comparable with Gojo, with the former claiming it was more creepy and ominous. Ryu Ishigori, the culling game player with the highest cursed energy output, felt Yuta's cursed energy was nearly bottomless. So all the capabilities of Rika, that's about to come down on Sukuna. We're about to see who's the strongest. The King of Curses or the Queen of Curses? And let me go to the chapter list. I don't think it shows. Yeah, it doesn't show when the next chapter is supposed to be coming out. Good lord, my throat is dry. But yeah, let me go back to Yuta when he pulled up. The man has not changed his clothes since his very first appearance. And he's just chilling with a sword, and he's just clashing with Sukuna. This is going to be interesting. These two individuals with an almost boundless amounts of cursed energy. And both are apparently capable of achieving any cursed technique they can imagine. At least that's what I'm assuming for Sukuna, because we still don't know what his innate technique is. But Yuta, he's capable of doing that. Because I'm looking at his stats right here. Cursed energy manipulation. In his second year as a sorcerer, Yuta has improved his cursed energy control dramatically. Yuta understands that he carries vast levels of cursed energy and now knows how to apply it accordingly. He has been training his weak body and constantly strengthens it in battle with massive amounts of cursed energy. This puts Yuta's reinforcement technique on a level that far surpasses even an elite sorcerer's, making his attacks difficult to predict. Not only are Yuta's attacks unpredictable upon reading his cursed energy, but his physical capabilities are enhanced tremendously. Yuta's strength and agility are improved to such a degree that he can contend with Yuji's superhuman prowess. Yuta's every attack carries enough destructive power to end a fight, and his defense is so immense that it can restrict all incoming damage to a minimum. That's going to be interesting to see how that stacks up against the King of Curses himself. In addition to a superior reinforcement technique, another testament to Yuta's delicate control over his cursed energy is his mastery over reverse cursed energy. Reverse curse technique is notoriously difficult to perform for sorcerers, but Yuta can use it repeatedly without issue. Doesn't Rika have a time limit? Hold on, let me see here. Can he only keep Rika out for only 5 minutes? Huh. Has that always been the case? Ah, here we go. Sorry, I didn't look. There's multiple tabs here for Yuta's case. There's multiple tabs here for Yuta. I'm looking at cursed energy, and then I'm not even looking at cursed technique. Rika! The cursed spirit that remains with Yuta after Rika Orimoto passed away. Let's see. She can partially manifest. Ah, here it is. Here it is. Complete manifestation. While connected to Rika through his ring, Yuta can fully manifest Rika, use cursed techniques, and access her supply of cursed energy to replenish his own. Rika also has the ability to store a wide range cursed tools and can equip them to Yuta. Yuta can maintain a sustained connection with Rika and remain in this state for 5 minutes at a time. So, with Rika, his innate technique is copy. While connected to Rika, Yuta can copy innate techniques and use them. He can even use multiple different techniques that he's copied in quick succession. The conditions under which he can copy a technique are not fully known, but it is implied he gained the ability to copy Uro's when Rika consumed her arm. And then, of course, we've seen all the different things that he's capable of doing. Cursed speech from Inumaki, Shikigami as well, copied from Druv, Lakdawala, and then sky manipulation, which he got from the sky chick. And then, of course, he has cursed technique. And then, he did try to do domain expansion when he was fighting Ishigori and Uro, but they were interrupted by Kurorushi. So he almost did his domain expansion, but it was interrupted. So we could possibly see. Where am I reading this? I went to the JUJUTSU Kaisen wiki. It's always what I go back to whenever I want to make sure that I'm getting people's curse techniques right and giving you guys correct details about it, because I don't like to give you guys wrong information. This is going to be an interesting fight. I don't know if we're getting a chapter next week. It feels like we're going to be going on break for Jujutsu, but this is going to be an interesting fight to see what Yuta can really do, because we haven't seen Yuta in a minute as far as like doing some serious fighting, because he came in sliced off Kenjaku's head before Kenjaku could do anything, and we haven't seen him since. And now we have Yuta, who's clashing with Sukuna right now. And Rika's already out trying to body Sukuna because, you know, Sukuna's talking smack to Yuta, and you know how much Rika loves Yuta. Keep forgetting his domain expansion was interrupted. Yeah, when Uro and Ishigori and Yuta were about to use their domain expansions during their fight earlier on during the Culling Games, they were interrupted by that Kurorushi guy. I believe that is the cockroach curse spirit. I believe it was a cockroach bug cursed sorcerer. So it's going to be interesting. Watch Sukuna explain to us Yuta copy. I mean, we already know how that works, so I don't think Sukuna needs to explain to us how he can do that when it's already been explained how Yuta can do that. Because it was explained back in chapter 178. Yeah, it was explained back in 178 that this is his innate technique. So we already know how his copy works. We already know that. But I still want to find out. Yeah, it was starting to come back to us now. Yeah. So it should be interesting to see what happens with this fight between Yuta and Sukuna. I still am waiting on the moment where Sukuna's innate technique is explained. That's the one I want to find out. We know about Yuta. We know how Rika works. We know how strong Yuta is. He's just mad broken. But I want to find out about Sukuna's innate technique. That's what I'm interested in. But we're just going to have to wait and see what the next chapter holds. Overall, good chapter. Yuta versus Sukuna. King of Curses versus Queen of Curses. Only one can walk away from this. And seeing as how Yuta's cursed energy capacity is greater than even Gojo's, that ought to be an interesting fight indeed. Especially with Yuta being able to use his cursed energy to such perfection as it is right now. Should be interesting. But we'll see where things go from there. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I did all my reactions for today. I'm gonna rest, get me some tea, and then just sleep off this sickness because I really need to get myself in a good physical state for all of you because we're going to be busy this week and especially next week. Oh man, I gotta get my whole system good for this entire week because Kill the Justice League comes out next week and I can't wait to play it for all of you guys. But I'm done. All I can say to you is, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, subscribe, even become a member, because I'm sorry, I'm just kind of tired and I want to go ahead and get some rest. Like, comment, subscribe, even become a member because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, that cough is trying to sneak up on me once again. Later, peoples!